Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Callum, in this
Hello.
summer
Marcin,
hot
I have a
Friday.
question for you. Why do we always
Yes,
start with good morning? Because it's not morning for you.
I don't know. It just started
We're
like that.
235 episodes into this, plus a few Code Garden specials and events and Lungo and maybe some other things, some April Fool's episodes. And every time we say good morning, and
Yeah,
it's never morning for you.
it's morning for someone. Definitely, that's
It's
my
morning for me.
description.
I appreciate
But,
it, but
but yeah, that's true. But yeah, this time we discussed a little bit before going live about the summer period and general issues coming out of it. And thank you all who are here with us today, because that means that you are not having summer, or you've included umbraCoffee as a part of your summer plan. That would be even more awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, that's July, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, this month is going to end right now.
Yes, we're a week away from the end of July, aren't we? Yeah, the UK. It's weird in the UK. We don't have like a mass people taking loads and loads of time off
Yeah,
in one big chunk. I know it's very common in Scandinavia and stuff. I know that
it's
most of
same.
Denmark and Norway and Sweden and those sorts of places are off right now. But yeah, it's not something we do so much in the UK. We have school holidays and we have maybe people will take a couple of weeks off, but very rarely the whole summer. So
No.
it's very odd to see this.
Again, it's a culture thing, right? And I noticed it recently working with countries in Norway, Sweden as well. It's like, and we discussed it. We should do this, something like that, right? I would definitely enjoy 4 weeks of summer
We've
or a
never
break
done.
in a row.
We've only ever missed one umbraCoffee episode, and it was so that we could time. Like intentionally missed, so we could time our 100th episode to be at the UK Fest. That's the only reason we've ever done it. Every other week, bar maybe like one at Christmas, we've done an umbraCoffee episode for nearly 5 years now. Literally, nearly 5 years. But yeah, we should probably take the summer off. It would be sensible.
That would be good. But then let us know how and when you are watching the umbraCoffee, and if you're having a summertime or a week or holidays at all, because we've noticed a couple of interesting pictures in the last weeks. Lee Kelleher, who shared last week that he was watching the umbraCoffee with Steve Temple on the road, literally on one of the TV cars.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
In a Tesla, that is very cool. There's been a few interesting pictures. We sometimes get them of people watching umbraCoffee on like big TV screen or on like an Echo Dot or not the Echo, whatever they are with the screens. But yeah, it's cool to see it in a car. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Hopefully you weren't driving.
Mama, I'm on Tesla. that's the beauty. And again, we also seen a lot of other ways of consuming umbraCoffees and literally consuming umbraCoffee too. And this was from Sven. Still, it's from a couple of weeks back, but I think in the weeks like this, especially that I know you've been also hitting the records in the temperature in UK as well. This kind of ice creams would be a lifesaver. And Sven here shared a great recipe.
He only got so far though. He left a bit of the equipment somewhere. I think he left the kind of the mixer at a friend's house, but it does look very good. It does look very
really, really good.
So I'm glad to see people have been complimenting the umbraCoffee coffee. People have been saying the beans are very good. The roast is quite heavy. It's it's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to make
might be another opportunity. Yeah, it might be opportunity for the more limited edition collaborations. I'm still in touch with the producer, so who knows? Maybe next week. Cool. Umbraco wise, we had a couple of updates from Umbraco, and Rune shared a product update this week. Let's focus on that for a while. So one big thing and one new release which is interesting is of course Zapier integration. That's something what we've been talking about, we've been looking for, and it's there yet.
Yeah, we spoke about this one last week, and it's very cool to see. So that I think the things it supports right now are submitting a form or content being published, and that then firing Zapier events, which is sort of DXP-ish, isn't it? It's very powerful. You could launch all kinds of things with that, and it integrates with hundreds and hundreds of services. So yeah, clearly very valuable.
And again, we've been discussing a lot about webhooks, event-driven solutions, connections, DXP, etc. That's one step towards more of it, because Zapier is a leader in terms of no-code connectors between the systems. So it's good to see Umbraco there. And again, right now it's a matter probably of finding out what to integrate with through the Zapier, and what are the options for us in the bigger ecosystems with Umbraco somewhere in between. So it's released, it's there. There are two download pages for Umbraco CMS and Umbraco Forms integrations, and yeah, great work from Umbraco here to make it happen. And of course, the packages are open source. Yep.
Yeah,
and we can check out the code as well. So extend them if it's needed, which is sometimes a case. New releases as well. So patch releases for Umbraco deploy and deploy contrib, and the new releases, upcoming releases for
forms and CMS. Yeah,
big ones, 10.1, and both of them have release candidates out. So a new folder-based form picker, captions, a lot of forms changes. Generally, we've been sending kudos to Andy a couple of weeks back for the forms work, and it's still continuing, right? So it's great to see that. But same with the CMS itself. 10.1 is being announced, and the release candidate is out, as we've mentioned. So we can play around with that already. Targeted release is on August 4th.
Yeah, next 2 weeks. 2 weeks time. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks yesterday.
And of course, the link to RC, right?
We had RC2 this week. So RC1 was last week, and RC2 this week with a few fixes, mainly around the production mode. So some of the default settings, really. Now you can set that mode, and it sets all the other app settings for you. And this thing, a bug fix around dashboards as well. It's nice to see the kind of a small number of bug fixes being necessary. Of course, this isn't the final release yet, but it's good to see these small, nice, sweet releases.
Yeah. And again, I've also noticed a lot of people testing and playing around with this version. So I hope, and we all hope usually, that a lot of issues will be captured before the final release, but it's not that far away in time right now.
We've been preparing a demo of Marketing Suite on V10 for a pitch with a client, and that's that had a bug on V10. It came out last week, actually, for V10. I didn't mention that, but it came out last week, and yeah, we got it set up and running. Found a bug on V10 that wasn't working. Found they'd already fixed it and patched it, or Daniel at Perplex already fixed it and patched it in the V10,
Nice.
And it's in the release candidate for V10.1. So we upgraded to the release candidate, and ta-da, our demo just worked, which was awesome.
That's how it should be, right? That's the great example. But the issues are getting captured, getting fixed, which is awesome. And again, we are looking for more stable releases, and the one is upcoming. So that's very, very good. Speaking about releases, we can talk about packages now, because we had a couple of packages releases this week, starting from Nathan and Clip. We've been discussing it and capturing Nathan's tweets being shared on July 15th. Something new being cooked up, and right now it's released. So that's a great tempo.
User level content permissions. So this person can only create X amount of these content types, or like a really granular stuff. I guess it's a specific use case, but it does make sense to be able to restrict users in that way, or not allowing them to delete certain types. So I've not had an experiment. I've not had to play around with this, but we've had projects where this would be really helpful. So I'm going to have a look.
Yeah, same here, and yeah, great to see this being released, and again, open source, so everyone can check out how it's done and possibly extend if needed. So kudos to Nathan for doing that. Additional another one is conditional displayers package for Umbraco CMS, and if I remember correctly, this one was for presenting some properties or not presenting them based on specific criteria, right?
Exactly, yes. So showing, hiding them. It's Mario Lopez, who's, I think he's based in Australia. I think he's in Spain at the moment, but yeah, kind of created this at Coburn and has kept it going. And as of a few days ago, we've got V303, which supports 9 and 10. So you can do this on 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's a good example, which I remembered as well. Yeah, good one. New package for the new versions as well. So that's always good. You headless package from Nikcho.
Nikolai.
I would pronounce it Nikcho if it would be Polish name, but that's great to see. And again, we've been talking a lot about this headless implementation, and I know a lot of people also after the umbraCoffee, when we highlighted it, were surprised that something like this existed, and how complex and how helpful it was also for some of the projects. I still haven't checked this outside of the code review quickly that I've done, but if you have used it, people let us know, because it seemed like a really nice one. Plus, right now it has a new version, preview 2 of version 3.0, with a lot of just improvements, with a lot of new features and fixes. Yeah,
this one. I mean, it looks
that's
very
interesting,
cool.
right?
I know that Vertica released their headless library, and Nikolai's got his here, and there's clearly a demand for some kind of solid headless solution for natively hosting on in the core. So it's great, really great to see this. And they're taking slightly different approaches, like with they've got these sort of converter ideas here, and I know that the Vertigo one was sort of like a Fluent API for configuration. So it's really cool to see. And then of course Umbraco is also committed to doing an open API implementation within core as well. So we're going to have a few options. It's nice.
Yeah, I might need to update my presentation of using Umbraco as a headless CMS, because when I explored it initially, it was 3 options to just use, and now it seems like we have at least 3 packages that are doing the headless work, and then we have all the rest, which is coming as well soon. Here what I liked and I found the most interesting is like Nikolai decided to just drop support for Umbraco v9, and that's also something what we've been discussing a lot with my teammates. It's like, should we still think about supporting v9, or should we completely focus on v10?
It's a weird one, right? Umbraco 9 is sort of a non-version now, in that you wouldn't want to be using it in production. It's
exactly
v8 is LTS, v10 is LTS, v9 brings the painful upgrade, but why not just upgrade to 10? The step between 9 and 10 is so simple, so straightforward for most people, that actually it's just a couple of NuGet updates. I don't think there's any reason. We updated a site the other day to run. In fact, almost as soon as 10 came out, we were running 10 in production from 9, and I kind of see why you'd want to drop 9. At the same time, how much effort is it for someone to support 9 in their package? A complex package like this I can see, but I know for sure that there's a few pull requests to some of my packages to upgrade them to work with 10, just because I put a nice upper version limit on the NuGet version constraint. But actually there was nothing that needed to be changed in the code other than allowing a higher version. So it's a tricky one. For a big package like this, I think it makes sense, but I don't know why anyone would be using v9 now. V10,
and that's exactly a part of discussion. What would be the argument towards using v9 now instead of upgrading to v10? That's the thing. But yeah, that's open discussion, and I think I would love to see some options and approaches from other people on how they are doing it. But from the package creators, definitely reducing the complexity of maintaining 2 versions is easier and less time consuming. So it will be probably seen more often, I would say, across the package creators to just
also just something else to put a bit more credence behind using v10 over v9. We've been doing some benchmarking recently for a package that's available to use on v10 and v9, and we've basically benchmarked them against each other and found that the performance gain of using v10, as in with .NET 6 and ASP.NET Core 6, is about 15% additional throughput for each request.
Nice.
So just by updating to 10, which is, as I say, is like a NuGet update, you get all of those benefits. So there's definitely reasons to be on v10.
Yeah, that's true, and that's correct. And there is a lot of .NET 6 lovers, so that's definitely a good one. One more or 2 more. Contentment and Lee, you still made it on time.
Just to prove we're actually live.
Yeah, it was a test, probably. It was a summer test for us. But Lee released the new version of contentment 22 minutes ago. And yeah, it has some new features, some new bug fixes and enhancements, and a lot of good stuff in it as usually. So all the contentment lovers and users feel free to upgrade and use it. And yeah, thanks Lee for mentioning it for us here on the chat to make it present in the episode. That's contentment, and that's the releases. Meetups and events. Callum, you are kicking off the barbecue season soon.
Yeah, we're doing barbecues.
Tell us more about it.
We announced last week we're going to be doing 3, but actually it's now 4 because the lovely people in Bristol twisted my arm. No, we're next Friday in Bristol. We're doing a barbecue, 29th at Jibe. They've kindly hosted us. So yeah, Bristol, then London in a couple of weeks, mid-August, end of August, we've got Leeds, and we're doing this virtual barbecue, if you want to call it that, more of a Friday bar type thing on Friday the 5th. So basically one every week for the next couple of weeks, which should be exciting.
Nice. Hope the weather will stay that good.
Next week's looking okay. I mean, it's not going to be, let's say it's not going to be sunny. We're not going to have 40 degrees like we had on Tuesday this week, but which is good, actually. I burnt just walking to the pub. Yeah, it's going to be moderate, 25 degrees or something, sunny-ish. Should be good fun.
And of course, everyone follow Umbraco Barbecue Twitter for any updates and join if you can join in person in the locations that are here on umbracobarbecue.com. Another meetup opportunity and New York City meetup group being rebooted by Heather. First meetup in 2.5 years. That's the amazing break again. But yeah, it's happening on Wednesday, 27th, so extremely soon. And yeah, there's a plan to make it present on the Umbraco map again. So everyone who is located in New York City or around, feel free to join Heather and the rest of the community out there. And yeah, there will be some programs, some information shared soon, and it's in Microsoft Reactor, so pretty familiar space for everyone around the world. That's the meetup. And last but not least is information about the early bird tickets for Umbraco US Summit. So still in the context of US, we've been talking about this event, the call for proposals, and now the tickets are up. And
the call for proposals ends in 3 hours, I think. If
that's good to know.
Something else. I've got some interesting things to say about this one. Can we click on the summit link? So of course the details have been a little bit sketchy on this one. No one's really known exactly what it's about, who it's for, that sort of thing. But I think we now actually have a final idea of how this is being positioned. So it's a hybrid event, online and in person in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you go to the homepage of the site, we've now actually got a bit more detail about the sort of content and who this is targeted at. So they're calling this a digital innovation conference. And if you scroll a bit further, you'll see they describe sort of it's for kind of business people and trying to make the most of Umbraco and DXP solutions and, you know, a composable setup for your sites. There's a lot of talk about brands and marketing and agencies, and very little mention of Umbraco itself. So I think this event is going to be far more business oriented and kind of commercially oriented than, say, Code Garden, where we've got a lot of developer talks. And it looks like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, and that's something what we predicted at the point back, because Umbraco is starting more business and try to drive more business in US, and it's natural to get in front of the business to make it done. But it's purely not just for developers, as you've mentioned, right? It's like
from looking at this, I would say it's not for developers at all. And that's maybe just the strategy Umbraco is taking. It's an interesting one because, at least my experience in Corne saying this would be a terrible event for you, Marcin. Lots of DXP related.
That's for sure.
It's an interesting one because I've always said that the best salespeople for Umbraco are the developers. We are passionate about the product. We're a lot of us are big evangelists for the product, and so completely alienating, let's say, developers from that is an interesting approach. The US market is very different to what we have over here. Like there is still active and very passionate people. We spoke about Heather a moment ago, but they're all kind of a bit more distributed, and they're selling into different types of companies. There's less small agencies and a lot more advertising agencies and sort of bigger things there. So yeah, it's a different approach. It's an interesting approach. I'm interested to see what happens.
Exactly.
But it's definitely not another festival.
Yeah, but there's an option to join online. So for everyone who is interested still in the content or everything that might be relevant for the business or everything else, that's an option to join as well without going to Charlotte. But there is a hybrid event, so we now at least know how it will be organized. So that's good. And yeah, still call for proposals opens, as we've mentioned, for a couple of hours, so everyone can contribute to the content out there too. And so that's the event, that's the summit, and the last blog posts sections, starting from the legendary Umbraco V10 to V10 upgrade guide, and that's exactly what we've been mentioning today. The process is relatively simple, but it's still not just a click of one button in some of the cases. So John here did a great job again with a very detailed blog post highlighting how to migrate and update the whole Umbraco solution to the latest and greatest version of it. So again, detailed process with everything described very well.
Fantastic, energetic, subscribe video that John always does that accompanies this. That I think is linked somewhere. If it's not, we'll make sure the link's in the description. Yes. But he walks through this all very, very nicely too. It's a really great guide.
Yeah, and great stuff. So yeah, definitely check it out if you are upgrading or planning to upgrade. So and same with the video if you prefer the video content. John is amazing in that. High Five, you rock shop. That's another link on our list. Something new being released for the High Five fans: hoodies, bags, t-shirts, hats. This hat looks cool, to be honest, and we can buy it through the.
More. Show more. They've got like baby grows. They've got all kinds of swag here. It's
I missed that.
Yeah, the mugs.
Cool. And
we've got the Monopoly.
I just checked the integration here before, but it looks really cool. And same with the hoodies. A lot of the hoodies. Yeah, that's really nice. So,
it's Spreadshirt. So I don't know. I guess I'm pretty certain Owen's not like drop shipping from his house.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this has got a distribution thing. So I think you can get them kind of in most places around the world as well with reasonable cost shipping. So it's quite funny though when you zoom in, you see the previews that Spreadshirt's generated, and they're not the best. Like the logo straight over the top of the
here, for example. But I literally checked this provider because we've been, of course, investigating this kind of middleware stores in a while, and it looks really cool, and glad to see that. And of course, everyone who wants to support the High Five Rock initiative website, everything what Owen and the rest of the team is doing, there are some friends of High Five Rock already listed here. You can support by buying things and wearing them proudly for whatever reasons and opportunities. So definitely check it out, and we will link the shop in the description below. And 2 videos at the end of the episode, recording from our Collab session from yesterday. I haven't have time yet to check out what was the content of it. Callum, did you check
the idea was Sven sat there and they sort of all worked together to fix some bugs in the CMS, a few Angular things, like just a bit different, which was nice. I think Warren was there trying to help review and merge PRs as they sort of came in, which was good.
Yeah, that looks really good, and a lot of people attended the collaboration again, so that's really good in summer mode. So people are definitely working. Some of them are definitely working. And last video on today's episode is the webinar recording that was streamed this week, and Matt was doing the walkthrough of deployment of deploying securely and confidentially with Azure DevOps, and it looks amazing, and it looked amazing even before it was streamed. So I definitely need to catch up on this, and we know that Matt did a lot of amazing stuff with DevOps and pipelines. So I'm sure there's a lot of knowledge for us all there. And yeah, it's amazing that it's shared on YouTube. So thanks, Matt and Mariama and the rest of the team there for doing it, because everyone can now learn from it. And 65 views already, which is so good. Cool, and that's probably all from our list today. I don't know if we missed anything.
I've sent you the link, and Cornet's reminded me in the chat. Cornet wrote a great blog post this week about how to introduce people to the CMS in Umbraco, kind of a listicle format where he's suggesting all the different resources. And I know he's mentioned Paul Seal's videos. I know he's shared all kinds of resources. Really great ways of getting involved. So we'll make sure that link's down below too.
No, I would just add to this list the 24-day series, because that was usually also something what I included in all of the listings for the people who said, okay, what it is this Umbraco, tell me more, right? So I was sharing some of the list of our resources. Check it, explore more if you are interested in the content, and this blog will land on this list for sure again. And yeah, thanks Corner for bringing it up here today.
You mentioned
and another proof that we are live.
You just mentioned 24 days, and I realized that that's going to be happening soon. That's like a month and a half away, really? Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. So probably after the summer break, Jan and the rest of the team will seek for writers. So right now we can use the summertime to think about what we can share.
Thinking, because I know that in previous years they've increasingly struggled to find people that want to write, or that maybe drop out, or like me, who are very flaky when it comes to delivering articles in time. So yeah, definitely get thinking on an idea now if you've got one.
And we can remind us all every time that we have time. We have still plenty of time, but then the life happens, and the deadline happens when they arrive, and that's the truth. But that's all for today. Let us know if there was anything else worth highlighting, and we'll definitely attach it to the list of links, or mention it the next week. Share the pictures when and how you watch the umbraCoffees to let us know, and let us feel the summer vibe you're feeling or not. I'm heading to the lake side today in the evening, so might be a chance to see some water as a part of the weekend. So that's good. But yeah, and if not, we'll of course see each other on the next week as usual on episode 236.
Yeah,
crazy. Wow. Cool. So thanks, Callum. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and see you soon.